Yo! What is going on YouTube? It's your boy Sam from Team SamRax1 here. Happy Tuesday! Today's video, I am coming at you with the brand new Amazement Trap Stun. Your opponent can't play Yu-Gi-Oh! Competitive top tier deck profile for you guys today. So I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys love a stun-based deck, if you guys love a deck that can easily break boards and also at the same time doesn't allow your opponent to play Yu-Gi-Oh!, this deck is the perfect deck for you. As always, if you guys are here on the channel for your first time, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and be sure to turn on this turn on notification bell to get notified on each channel with videos. They'll be absolutely amazing. Don't forget to that thumbs up button for more awesome Yu-Gi-Oh! Yep, without further ado, let's start with the brand new top tier competitive Amazement Trap deck profile. Alright guys, let's do it. So first and foremost, we're going to play, of course, triple copies of the brand new Amazement Administrator, Arlen Kino. This card is absolutely phenomenal. Definitely one of my favorite cards in the entire deck. His effect is insane. Once per turn, you can banish any number of attraction traps from your graveyard, then target that many cards your opponent controls, destroy them. So it's like a instant spot removal, which is really insane at a cost of just banishing X amount of attraction traps. If you banish 6 attraction traps from your graveyard, you're destroying 6 cards your opponent controls. If you're banishing 3 attraction traps, you're destroying 3 cards your opponent controls. Like, this card is just absolutely insane. Second effect, if a trap card is activated, except during the damage step, you can special summon this card from your hand. So it's kind of like a multi-faker type effect, where you activate a trap, special summon this card from your hand, which is really good. It's a huge beat stick, which is absolutely phenomenal. And the last effect is insane, because when your opponent normal summon or special summons a monsters, okay, you can target one of those face-up monsters they control, equip 1 attraction trap from your deck to that target. So this card is basically a removal and an interruption built in one, which is absolutely insane. So you want to maximize yourself when actually playing triple copies of Arlen Kino. Usually with opening up traps, you want to see Arlen Kino in your first and opening hand, right? So this card is really, really good. It provides you more disruptions on the board, which is really nice, right? So triple copies of Arlen Kino, absolutely mandatory to play in the deck. Next, you're going to play, of course, triple copies of Amazement Attendant Comica. This card is absolutely phenomenal. She's essentially your Ultra Guy's marionetter for the deck. What she does is that when she's normal summoned, you can set 1 attraction trap directly from your deck to your side of the field. Quick effect, you can target one of your Amazement traps equipped to a monster, equip it to 1 Amazement monster you control or 1 face-up monster your opponent controls. So she basically makes your trap cards become dual functional in the exact same turn. So using cards like Horror House, what you can do is that you can actually set the Horror House, activate Horror House, equip it to Comica, and then you can use the Horror House effect to negate an effect on the field, and then you can activate Comica to make the Horror House equipped to your opponent's monster, so you can book a moon that monster, which is absolutely ridiculous, right? So she's essentially 2 interruptions built in one, because she gets access to Horror House immediately or any other amazing trap cards, which is really nice. So you're gonna maximize yourself on playing 3 copies of Comica. She's absolutely incredible, and this is the only monster that you're playing in the deck. You're playing triple Comica and triple Arlen Kino is all you need, in my opinion. Next off with the spells, you'll play, of course, triple copies of Amazement Time Ticket. This card is essentially a Cleaford Scout for the deck. What it does is that you pay 800 life points, and on your turn, you get to add 1 Amazement card from your deck to your hand, and then on your opponent's turn, you basically get to get access to an interruption by getting the ability to set an attraction trap directly from your deck, which is really, really good, right? And when you set that trap card from your deck, it can actually be activated this turn as well. So essentially, if you're maximizing yourself and playing 3 copies of each trap, this card makes it that you have 6 copies of every trap card. You guys understand what I mean? So Time Ticket is amazing. It's a rotor for the deck, and it also gets access to your traps, which is really, really good. So Time Ticket is just so good. Amazing Time Ticket. The card is actually amazing. Last but not least, for your spells, of course, triple copies of Pot of Extravagance. You don't care for the extra deck in this deck whatsoever, so Pot of Extravagance becomes really beneficial in this deck over Pot of Prosperity. Getting the extra 2 cards is amazing. You want to maximize yourself on actually seeing more trap cards when you're playing a trap based deck, right? So triple Extravagance, absolutely mandatory to play in this deck. Let's get started with the traps. For your Amazement traps, you're going to play, of course, triple copies of the brand new Amaze Attraction Horror House. This card is absolutely insane. What it does is that target 1 Amazement monster you control or 1 face-up monster your opponent controls, equip this card to it. You can activate the following effect based on which player controls the equipped monster. If you equip this to the attraction monster you control, you can target 1 effect monster your opponent controls, negate its effect until the end of this turn. So this card is essentially end perm, which is really great. The second ability, if you equip this card to one of your opponent's monster, you can change the equipped monster to face down defense position. So essentially it's a Book of Moon. and also at the same time an imperm built-in one, which is absolutely incredible. And especially with Comica being around, you're actually able to use this card's effect twice in one turn. Preferably you want to equip it to Comica first, so you get the ability to negate the monster effect, and then you can activate Comica's effect to switch this card's effect to equip to an opponent's monster, so that way that you can book your opponent's monster, which is absolutely insane. So triple copies of Amaze Attraction Whorehouse. Card is ridiculous. Next, you're gonna play triple copies of the Cyclo Coaster. This card is also amazing as well. What Amaze Attraction Cyclo Coaster is basically Paleozoic Oleonoids. It destroys balls and traps whenever you equip this card to one of your Amazement monsters, and if you switch its ability and your opponent is equipped with this card, you can add one Amazement monster from your deck to your hand, and if you do, send this card to the graveyard. So it's essentially another time ticket for the deck. It's essentially another roller for the deck, which is really, really good. So against a back row based deck, this card becomes absolutely insane, destroying back row and also at the same time helping you get access to your Amazement monsters directly from your deck to your hand. So triple copies of Cyclo Coaster. Next off, I'm playing 3 copies of this card. This card is insane, and this deck literally destroys Drytrons, and I built this deck specifically just to beat Drytrons because I believe Drytrons is the best deck in this format. Not only is this card good against Drytrons, but it's also good against Dinos as well, because this card has amazing ability. It's essentially a DD Crow. If you equip this card to a monster, you target one card in your opponent's graveyard, change the equipped monster to defense position, and if you do, shovel that target back into the deck. So Rapid Racing, literally, like you equip it to Comico or Arlenkino, and then you switch them to defense, shuffle back a Misk from the graveyard into the deck, shuffle back any Drytron monster from your graveyard back into the deck. This is why I decided to maximize if I'm actually playing 3 copies of this, because Drytrons are running rapid and Drytrons are literally everywhere, and you want to try to have one of the best main deck outs to that card, and the deck has an archetype card built in its deck to out Drytrons, which is ridiculous, and it also outs Miss as well. And without Miss in the graveyard, Dinos don't really have much other extenders other than the Miss in the grave, so you want to try to maximize when actually playing 3 copies of Rapid Racing. I think this card is also really good, and this card is also great at level manipulation as well. So for any Xyz based deck, like let's say you're playing against Burning Abyss, you're trying to go into Dante, you're trying to go into rank 3, you can just activate Amaze Attraction, change the level to level 4, or even against Drytrons, when you're trying to make the move bait of Fafnir, you can actually just use Rapid Racing to change one of the monster's levels to level 2, and then they can make the XCs, right, which is really, really good. So Rapid Racing has 2 great applications. I think it's great, and since Drytrons is the best deck right now, 100,000%, you need to maximize yourself and actually playing 3 copies of this card right here. So Rapid Racing is also really nice. Next off for your negate cards, you're playing triple copies of Solemn Strike. This card is absolutely insane. Your deck is great going first and also going second, because Strike and enemy back row helps you break boards, which is actually really, really good. So you must maximize someone actually playing 3 strikes, which is really awesome. Next, I'm playing 3 copies of Broken Line. Shouts to Pac right here. This card is amazing. Against Drytrons, when they want to go first, they set up Ultimateness or Hero Perfection. What you can do is that you can actually set the Broken Line in Ultimateness or Perfection zone and actually just break their board that way. So essentially it becomes another strike. Also at the same time, people subconsciously just activate cards in the middle zone. I've tested this deck for weeks with Broken Line, and the fact that people just activate cards in the middle zone is just ridiculous. Like, you just set this card in the middle zone, Lightning Storm, okay, like Broken Line. Well, most players, when they activate cards, they're just gonna subconsciously just activate the middle zone, so they have to be really careful which zone they have to activate cards on. Also at the same time, while going second, this card makes it easy for you to break any board, because any interruption that you're afraid of, you can just set Broken Line under that interruption, aka Perfection and also Ultimateness, to just destroy those negate type matchups immediately, right? So Broken Line is just really, really good. Essentially, you're playing 6 copies of Solemn Strike in the deck, which is absolutely amazing. Next up for your removal, of course, triple copies of Dogmatic Punishment. I think this card is like one of the best removal for the entire deck. Your deck is a trap-based deck. You can't not play Punishment. Punishment is just so good. Card is ridiculous. For more of your removal cards, you're playing triple copies of Torrential Tribute. Torrential Strike is game. That's why you play, Strike in the deck. Torrential. Also, Broken Line is also really good as well. Like, Torrential Strike is just ridiculous. People that overextend lose to this card instantly, and this is why Torrential is just so good, in my opinion. Next off for your Floodgates. Okay, guys, the best way to beat Drytrons is to flood them out. I play 1 Skill Drain. Usually with this deck right here, as long as you basically apply pressure on the board by getting multiple copies of Arlenkino on the field and having multiple trap cards to disrupt your opponent, you're still able to trigger off Arlenkino in hand, and at that point, Arlenkino becomes a beater that just literally destroys your opponent while skill drains on the field. So I don't feel like skill drain hurts the deck as much, but I feel like it just destroys the Drytron matchup immediately by just being able to negate everything on the field, which is really good. And skill drain is just absolutely amazing. Like skill drain with a bunch of traps, also be able to trigger off Arlenkino in your hand, and Cycle Holster can still trigger off to search your Arlenkinos, and Time Ticket can search your Arlenkino. Skill drain doesn't really hurt the deck at all. I feel like this card destroys the entire meta more than it hurts yourself, right? So skill drain, this deck does not care for this card whatsoever, which is you're playing 3 copies of There Can Only Be One. This card's amazing. Arlenkino is a psychic, and Kamika is a machine, so you control both of them on the field. Unfortunately, you can only control one of each, but hey, this card would just destroy the Drytron matchup. Also, at the same time, it would just beat the Dragon as well. Like, beat a lot of decks that combos off using the same type, which is really good. So There Can Only Be One is just absolutely amazing. This deck does not care for this card whatsoever. And last but not least, this can be controversial, but I'm playing triple copies of Rivalry Warlords. Like I said, guys, this deck is literally built to flood out Drytrons because it is the best deck this format. This card can be any floodgate that you guys want. It kind of conflicts with Kamika and also with Arlenkino, but I felt like if you're able to just control the board with multiple Arlenkinos, you're pretty much already going to win the board that way as well. And this card literally destroys Drytrons. They can't go into their Fairy Plays, they can't go into their Zeus, and they're going to be unable to break your boards fairly easy while you have a floodgate on the field. Like watching Jesse Khan play Drytrons, he always says that the best way to just beat the deck is to just flood them out. Like, spot removal doesn't kill the deck because they don't care for the monster on the field. As long as you stop them from playing, you're pretty much just going to do it. And the best way to do that is to flood them out, which I played 3 copies of Rivalry Warlords. And unfortunately, no Ice Dragon Prison in the main deck because Drytrons is running rapid in today's meta, and Ice Dragon doesn't work against that deck. So I definitely prefer to play a bunch of Floodgates, in my opinion. Obviously, against a Dragon matchup, this card isn't that great, but you always side out accordingly to the matchups that you're playing. But for now, Drytron's running rapid. I love Rivalry Warlords. This card is just absolutely ridiculous. Surprisingly really good against Dinos as well. When they go make it to the Scrap Raptor and everything the Scrap Raptor plays, you just activate Rivalry Warlords and they pretty much just lose. You know what I mean? So Rivalry is just absolutely insane. So that's pretty much it from the main deck. Let's go up to your extra deck real quick. Very simple. You don't play, of course, the one Ultimate Falcon. In the side deck, I side Awakening the Dragons. So Ultimate Falcon comes in handy. Also, at the same time, this card is 3,500. So you can actually Punishment, send this card to the graveyard, destroy Tyranno in the battle phase, which is really good. So Falcon is really nice. Omega and Punishment ensures that you always have Punishment live, which is really good. Ignister, Windpeck is an Ignister, really good removal. Card's amazing. In the side deck as well, you guys can also play Schism and also Ariel. So I play Abkalone in the side. She's absolutely amazing. Card is just really good. One Fossil Skull Knight. Card's really good removal as well. Next off, of course, the best removal, which is triple copies of Outer Energy Entis. Okay, she's absolutely insane because you're playing Dogmas. Next, I'm playing, of course, the one Lina. She's amazing. Unfortunately, I couldn't afford the Starlight one, so I'm playing the Lina. Lina is good because Kamika is a light, and you can ride back your opponent's lights in the graveyard and make Access Code Talker, which is really good. Access Code is nice. The BLS Link is also really good as well. Unicorn and also Phoenix. To run off for all the link monsters that you're playing in the deck. Guys, I really hope you guys enjoyed this deck profile. If you guys enjoyed this video, make sure you guys give this video a huge thumbs up. That'll be absolutely amazing. Let me know what your thoughts about this deck. This deck is a heavy trap stun based deck, man. Like, all traps, really good at going first, really good at going second. I feel like this deck has tons of potential in today's format, and I love trap decks, to be honest. Like, I'm kind of like a trap stun based type of player, so this deck is just personally one of my favorite play styles, alongside playing Dinos, right? So, deck is amazing. Let me know your thoughts about this deck in the comments below. And this is your boy Sam from Team Star Sam signing out. Alright, guys. Peace.